So of all the potential fantasy matchups between main characters of the series, I think Arno versus Shay is probably the most likely one to actually happen. They're both alive as far as we know at the same time. By the end of Unity's story, Shay is probably in his 60s, and there's also plenty of cause and reason for a fight between these two characters to happen. Shay did kinda slightly sorta kill Arno's dad, and he suggested that he and the Templars started the French Revolution, which is of course the jumping point for the Assassins versus Templar conflict in the first place in Unity. It's actually more surprising that we never saw these two duke it out. You would think Shay might have stayed in Paris after Rogue to help lead the Templars, but I guess he had better things to do. But anyways, I see a lot of people in the community ask this question: if Shay and Arno were to actually fight, who would win? Now, I actually created an entire story essentially around this very premise, with Arno, Shay, Connor, and Evelyn in what I called Assassin's Creed Vengeance. I wrote like a full 3-act structure for the story and everything, so go check that out if you want. I'll leave a link in the description. It's honestly one of the videos I've made that I'm most proud of. But in that, Arno and Shay do fight at the end, although the circumstances aren't exactly even, and the story takes place a few years later. Arno had gotten stronger, training under Connor and everything, so I wanted to make a video if these two characters fought just shortly after Unity or Dead Kings in a completely even fight, who would win? I think one of the most important points to consider in a fight is of course physical ability. As we know, Arno is very quick and agile, and he also has the huge advantage with Father Time on his side. You gotta keep in mind, at this point in time, Shay is likely somewhere in his 60s. I've got to imagine though, the old joints aren't quite what they were for Shay. I mean, he's around retirement age. Do the Templars have a good pension plan, you think? Or do you just retire when you die a brutal death? But anyways, Shay at an old age is likely not going to be able to keep up with a young, agile assassin like Arno. If this were prime Shay from Rogue, then that'd be a different story. But Arno definitely has the advantage over Shay in physical ability at this point in time. Hey, but does Shay know about the Phantom Blade? Because Arno could just walk up and be like, yo, you killed my dad. And just like that, Shay is suddenly all out of that luck he loves to make so much. Physical ability isn't everything though, of course. While Shay may be older, he's also far wiser, and let's be real, more intelligent than Arno as well. Arno may have all his fancy parkour moves and tricks, but the kid's dumb as bricks. Okay, nah, I'm kidding, but I still think Shay is smarter than Arno. He has the experience. On top of all that, Arno is very reckless and often lets his emotions get the better of him, so imagine how he'd act when faced with his father's killer. It's very possible Shay could lure or bait Arno into a situation where he's at a disadvantage and get the drop on him. At the very least, it's hard to imagine Shay going down easily. This is the man that killed Adewale and has survived this conflict for decades. He won't fall to a younger, more inexperienced assassin like Arno without a good fight. You know though, there's still one big factor we aren't considering. Both of these characters have some pretty awesome ending monologues. I don't know, who's the better monologuer? Me personally, I think I like Arno slightly more, but Shay gets some extra style points because his voice sounds so cool when he does it.
Uphold the principles of our order.
Anyways, as to who would win a fight, if this took place right after Unity or Dead Kings, I'd have to say Arno would probably win. Yes, Shay definitely has the advantage in intelligence and wisdom, but I think Shay's old age would really hold him back in a fight against a young, powerful assassin like Arno. But then again, Shay makes his own luck, so who knows, maybe he'll summon an asteroid from the heavens and crush poor little Arno. Then he'll laugh and be like, I make my own luck, you cheeky Irishman. Then again, Arno has the powers of being a simp, so... Okay, well that's completely useless in the scenario, but it still needed to be said. Shay may lose, but he still has the cooler catchphrase, so does he really lose?
I make my own luck.
However, if this fantasy fight happened when Shay was in his prime, so let's say prime Shay versus prime Arno, I think Shay wins. Shay's physical ability in Rogue is on par with Arno, if not better, and I still think he has the advantage in battle IQ and strategy, so I guess it just depends on the scenario and time. But that's just my opinion, of course. Feel free to let me know down in the comments who you think would win and why, and let me know if you'd like to see me make any other videos on these fantasy matchups for the Assassin's Creed series. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you considered leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you're new. And other than that, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day, Assassins.